I'm at 7.5 months of being on oral Minoxidil for major hair thinning that was a result of a lot of very stressful events and illnesses throughout my 30s. I started menopause, which has been a big hit. I had COVID a number of times, and I do have hair loss in my family, so it is possible that it could be alopecia related as well. So I did my video on my experience and everything that I was worried about and the symptoms I had, and I got a lot of questions about it, a lot of messages, a lot of comments, and so I wanted to kind of do an update. I'm at 7.5 months, soon be 8 months, and so I wanted to give you a month-by-month, step-by-step, play-by-play of what I experienced. The first month, I experienced nothing at all, and I was really concerned that it wasn't going to work for me, because it does work for most people, but it doesn't work for everyone, and I was definitely worried, wondering if I was going to be one of those people. So not really anything for the first month. Month 2, oh my goodness. The good news is I knew that it was working with my body. The bad news is the shed is crazy, and it was so scary and terrifying. My part got so thin. My hairline got so thin. I got through it by filling in with my cream contour, and that saved my sanity. No one seemed to notice it. No one was looking at my hairline or my part, and it made me feel like I could go out without having to wear a wig or a hair topper. It was scary because it had accelerated, because I was already getting nervous about my hair thinning because it was getting fairly moderate, and that accelerated it in such a short amount of time to a pace that went very quick that it was hard to wrap my brain around. But it was a lot of hair loss, and it's all at once. And that lasted for probably 2 months. That went on from month 2 and 3. And so the good news of that, even though it's super duper hard, is that your body's responding to it. And so you know that it is going to work. You're just in a tough phase. So you'll need to use some tricks to get through it, like the cream contour to fill in, but you'll get through it and you'll be okay. And it's great news because you're one of the people it works for. As far as side effects, I didn't really have anything significant. I noticed a little bit more hair growth as far as like under my brows, which I have not had brow hair growing since probably my mid-20s, over 20 years for sure. And so I saw a little bit of that. I'm not really a hairy person. Like, I don't have hair on my arms. It takes a while for like leg hair and that kind of thing to grow. And maybe like the peach fuzz on my face was maybe a little thicker, maybe a little bit more, but not even something that I would notice in person or that anyone else would notice for sure. Sometimes if I like try to look and angle my face just right in the sunlight, I could tell maybe a little bit, but nothing at all. No big deal. No hair in weird spots, which some people will get. Some people will get hair on their under eyes or on their forehead or on their temples or in the mustache or beard area or on their chest or back, and that's possible. But my feeling was that even if it happened, I wasn't too worried about it, honestly, because that was so worth it that I could laser that off or wax it off if I needed to, if it meant that I was going to have hair in my head, which was a much bigger concern for me. I do have some heart issues, and this didn't affect it at all. I typically have low blood pressure. It is a blood pressure controlling medication, so I was concerned about that. Have caused no issues with either of those things at all. In fact, I've had virtually no side effects whatsoever. I did notice that my face was fuller. I was retaining some water, and even that after probably 3 or 4 months tapered off. But at month 4, the shedding slowed to normal, and what I noticed is that I was getting baby hairs all along my hairline. And I'm not a person who ever typically had baby hairs before. It wasn't just breakage, it was uniform along my entire hairline. And also my part was thickening up. And so sometimes if I feel like my part or hairline needs filled in a little bit, once in a while, I'll fill it in with my cream contour. It is not as full as the hair that I had in my 20s. It's not going to give you every bit of hair back that you lost, but it, in my case, has given me a good amount back, and enough that I can feel comfortable and confident with not having to worry about it, not having to fill it in. And this is doable. Yeah, it's not the hair that I had in my 20s, but if you've hit your 40s, particularly if you're going through menopause, you're usually not going to have the hair of your 20s anyway. And so this I can live with. It's fine hair, but I've always had fine hair. I used to have a lot of it. And then in my 40s, I started having dramatically less and less and less. Now I have recovered enough that it makes me happy, and that's enough. It is something I'll have to be on forever. Otherwise, you will go through another shed, and then you'll be in the position you would have been had you never started Minoxidil, which would be more hair loss than you realize. And I'm fine with that. Like I said, I have virtually no side effects. It's been a great experience for me. I'm so glad I did it. It's one of the best things that I have found and could do for my hair. And it took about 4 months to see the growth. I haven't seen new baby hairs. I've heard that it can take up to a year for some people to experience hair growth. And I wondered if I would continue to see hair growth. I don't think that I have, at least not that I can tell right now. It looks like just the same baby hairs that started growing at month 4, and they've continued to grow, and eventually they'll be the length of the rest of my hair. But I don't see new shorter baby hairs growing at this point. That'll be awesome if that happens. But pretty much at month 4, what had started to grow is still the same growth I have experienced at nearly month 8. But I haven't lost any, and I've recovered quite a bit. I used to really have to fill in this area if I wore my hair back or wore my hair in a ponytail. And while it's not super thick, and I've always had a wide forehead, I don't feel bald when I wear my hair up without my cream contour. In fact, in trying to do this video, I've got little baby hairs sprouting out everywhere and they keep popping down. They're a little unruly, but it's so worth it. And I love being able to have them. If you're wondering, should you do it, go back and watch my video talking about everything in depth as far as the side effects, everything I was concerned about. But I can tell you my experience has been wonderful and I would not hesitate to recommend it to a friend. So nearly month 8, still doing great, started showing hair in month 4, and hopefully I can get back and update you again and experience even more recovery and hair growth. And I wish you all the luck with yours. If you are going through the hair shed, hang in there. That's great news. It means it's working for you and it will get better. And it has been absolutely 1000% worth it for me and hopefully for you as well. So good luck.